which are the 2-3 sectors you think, according to you, should do well going ahead in next 3 to 5 year perspective, Naveen?
So, because for us, it's always bottom up, right? Rather than top down. Having said that, right, we also have sectoral exposure because if I own Infosys, that means I am overweight tech or IT, right? So, I am going to translate my bottom up view into sectors rather than my top down view into companies. That's not how we think. So, just as a caveat. So, if you look at IT earnings, Vikas, and you've got both your majors like your TCS and Infosys and HCL Tech out of the way, and your mid caps like your Elixir and your L&T Technology Services and LTI coming out with earnings. The consistent theme is margin compression, right? Very robust order book. Some of the total order volume that these businesses are getting is unheard of in the last 20 years of their existence, but margin compression. Now, when you have reasonably good valuations baked into this, you are going to see some amount of volatility on the downside, which is what you're seeing on IT. And I continue to believe this is a structural theme, right? So I would always urge investors, once you have conviction in your process and the businesses that you like, volatility should be good for you rather than bad for you. So I continue to maintain that IT bar tech is a structural theme. You could have volatility over the next 1 or 2 quarters, but use that as your friend rather than reacting to it on the downside.
Sure.
Second,
Yeah.
second thing that you asked me two themes, so I'm going to go into two themes. Second theme is I continue to maintain pharma with the domestic API manufacturing base, where the supply chain is backward integrated fully. Right. So there are three aspects that I maintain. Right. Pharma, domestic API manufacturing base, where supply chain is backward integrated. When all three come together, you have a potential possibility of this working out fairly well over the next 3 years, 3 to 5 years. So I continue to maintain that this should work well for India.
So essentially, it's IT, pharma, and to large extent banking and financials.
No, so we are the most underweight banking and financial since the inception of the fund.
Okay.
Right? I have not been this underweight. So this is a very counter consensus view, right? If
Mm-hmm.
you look at any mutual fund, any PMS manager, any AIF manager,
35-40% is the
they've
weightage.
all been overweight banking and financials. We have cut our exposure. We've completely exited most of our banks. We only own two private sector banks, and the weights are the lowest that it has been since inception of the fund. So I think there are better pockets of opportunity than private sector banks today.